Today I'm going to talk about a little bit more than the Bible, but I thank God. Lord, I thank you for who you have put in my path in my lifetime. And I just want to single out two people. And I wonder, does everybody have two people? I mean, the most influential two people that you met in a lifetime. Could be anybody. But who were the most influential two people? And I would have to say, wow. One was my grandmother. Both of them were women, ladies. And the other one was my prophetess. There were others now, but these two really influenced my life. They left everlasting things, you know, everlasting sayings and things that I'll never forget because they came to pass. Ain't nobody else really done that too much, but these two did. First, my grandmother. My grandmother, I was only in her audience, wow, out of my life, maybe uh, 5 years, maybe 3 or 4 before, no more than 9 years, 10 years. I'll say 10 years that I've actually was with my grandmother. And she was a church going grandma that was a believer. She believed in the Lord. And she taught us. She taught us not to be phony in doing things and never to say that you got something that you don't have. Not to play. Don't play with God. And I love her for that. Sometimes her eyes would be tired and she would want me to read the scriptures for her. And I remember those times. I remember that. Grandma. Oh, grandma, man. And she was a real good cook. And I used to really go to church mainly with her. I mean, I went to church with other people, but when I went to church with grandma, it felt like I was going to church, man, you know? And I would notice that every once in a while she would get the spirit and she would begin to speak in tongue, which I didn't know too much about that then. You know, since I've read more on it, and in fact, it's something that is, you know, it's there. It's there with the spirit. And people talk against it and all that stuff, but hey, you know what? Whatever God uses, hey, I believe he uses it for good. The enemy's all around, always around. He's going to try to imitate God, but God is God. And the enemy, Satan, a serpent, or the old devil, that old devil, he is an imitator. Imitates him. And I remember she would start speaking in tongue, and she would kind of be loud sometimes. And then, you know, the preacher might cast a glance over there at her as if to, you know, quiet her. And I don't know if he should have done that all the time, but At any rate, everybody got their own traditions and everything in the church. But see, Jesus said that the traditions of man, you know, they mess stuff up. You know, we're supposed to rely on the Spirit and let the Spirit be freewheeling. But I had now my uncle. Oh yeah, my uncle, Uncle Thomas. I got to mention him too. But I didn't know Uncle Thomas as much as and if there was three, he would be the third, because I remember sitting under his preaching as a little boy, and man, he could tear you up. He was tearing me up when I, you know, was being just a child, a little child, man, and I was listening to him preach. I remember some of what he said. And I gotta admit that he came back after he passed. He sure did, and showed me the error of my ways, and had me to get out of a place. So, yeah, I got to put Uncle Thomas in there too. But like I'm saying, he was a preacher, big old tall man, about 6'3", 6'4", and he could preach. And I heard him preach at 5 years old, maybe 6 years old, 7 years old. And maybe not even that old, because that's right, I was always traveling, going back and forth, you know, between parents. And if I had it to do again, you know, it wouldn't bother me. I'd do it different than I did it then. But anyway, like I'm saying, the influential people that we met in life, that we have memories with about, more so. So I'd have to put Uncle Thomas in there. Sorry about that, Uncle Thomas. Uncle Thomas Johnson. Narrator Ballot. And Jesse Jean Jesse Jean Hartman Phillips. Yeah, those three. Okay, so we'll make it three. And like I said, Uncle Thomas came and got me out of a den of iniquity. He did come and got me out, and he did it in such a way it was not a dream, it was a vision. I seen him walk through a wall. No, I'm sorry, excuse me. I would be telling the story about that. I seen him walk through a locked door and looked over at me as if to say, boy, what you doing in here? And I thank God that God sent him through there, because if I hadn't gotten out of there, it's no telling where my life would have went. So I'm giving time and space to all these influential people, you know, and I thank God for them, man. I thank you, Lord, for your servants that you put before me and gave me a life, gave me visions and stuff, gave me something that I can remember. I can remember what transpired with all three of them. I can remember. It's just like I can see it. I saw it. It's not like I'm imagining it. I saw it. And I thank God for this, man. You know? And I'm pretty sure that others have seen things like this. You know? I'm probably going to take 2 or 3 tapes with this, because the people I'm talking about they were influential. And this will be part 1.